Hey guys, welcome to this episode. This is David with Geeks and Jocks, and in this channel we talk everything about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic. And in this episode we're going to be talking about power levels on Commander. This is what this episode is going to be about, but before we go into the episode, I do want to remind you, if you like our content, comment, like, and share, as well as subscribe if you haven't done so already. That will be greatly appreciated. So let's jump into the video. So first of all, we're going to be talking about power levels in EDH. That, you know, a lot of people are familiar with what CDH stands for, which is competitive EDH. EDH is a format that is meant to be casual, and for a lot of people know that this format was not created by Wizards of the Coast. Instead, it was created by the judge community. So I was browsing through Reddit and I found a post that I want to give a shout out to whoever did it. I think that the poster was not the original poster. However, he did share it, and I'll skim through it, and I not only agree, I think this is a great way to look at levels within Commander. So if we start right off, we're gonna do 10 levels of Commander, 1 being the lowest level within the Commanders, and 10 being the highest level, with it being like tier 1. So if you go into the levels of Commanders, we first have competitive, which will be 10 and 9, and usually these decks are tier 1 and tier 2. Then we have what is optimized, which will be 8 and 7. Then we have what it is tuned, which is 5 and 6. Then we have focused, that is 4 and 3, and then it's unfocused, or whatever you are playing. You just slap 99 cards together, and that is your Commander, and that is levels 2 and 1. Now let's break further those levels, which will be on competitive, will be the 10 and 9 usually want to win within the first 4 turns, or let me rephrase that. They want to win within turn 1 and 4, but usually they have the capability to win within those turns. Obviously, if you're in a table where all the levels are kind of the same, you are not going to win within those first 4 turns, because somebody's going to have an interaction and they will try and probably will stop you, because if you are playing with other tier 1 decks, they will probably have something against you. This tier 1 decks are hyper efficient. They usually are in a card to card basis, one of the best cards that they can be. They are usually budget less. You know, they tend to play really expensive cards in this tier 1 decks. They are decks, like I said, that if you don't stop them, they are highly efficient and they will try to win within those first 4 turns. Then you have tier 2 decks that are, you know, the same as tier 1. However, they take longer to set up, or they are not the most optimized or efficient, if you will. They usually are a little bit more budget, but they are still, you know, good contenders within those tier 1 decks. Examples of this will be Godo Bandit Warlord, Orsa High Lord Artificer, Nahila the Blade Blossom, and may he rest in peace, Golo's Tireless Pilgrim. Then we go into tiers 8 and 7. These decks have very specific lines of play. They do have obviously high efficient. They are efficient. They are optimized. They play very tight. They play mana curve. They always try to do several plays within a turn, and they have a lot of ramping spells. Obviously, these decks are more budget than the previous one. And for the number 7, they play powerful cards. They are not as optimized as number 8. And here, you know, a budget starts to play a role. You are paying a little bit less for cards, and in CMC you are paying a little bit more, making it less efficient of a deck. On optimized decks, we do have some examples, which are Tasigur, the Golden Fang, the Gidrock Monster, Kenrith, the Return King. But you know, because they have a little bit of more of setup that they have to do, however, they can be tier 1 decks as well. Then we move to number 6 and number 5. These decks are Toon Decks, meaning that they are decks that have a plan. These are upgraded precons, and they are, like I said, decks that have a plan. They are decks that have win cons, and they have a specific lines of play. Obviously, budget is a big constraint in this one, even though they are upgraded decks from like constructed decks, precons. They are not as powerful as the previous ones. Then we have a focus. We have 4 and 3. They are strong precons and the precons deck, meaning that they have synergy and they all work together. However, you know, these are cheap decks and they are not the optimized versions of them. We do have 59 precon decks for Commander. Usually we have been seeing a lot more support from Wizards of the Coast. And decks that come to mind are the Ur Dragon, Marin, the Revi Imperial Tactician. Actually, I had this as a precon and I had a lot of fun. This is a great stacks deck that you can play out of the box, and I really like precons when it comes to Commanders because it's just, you're ready and then you can upgrade as you go. And then we have the unfocused, and you basically playing whatever. I suggest you don't do this. I have several other videos that I recommend not doing this because it's not that fun. Group hug decks are okay. However, you know, they drag the game so long, it feels like a board game instead of like being a commander game. You play cards such as Hive Mind, where like everybody's casting or playing the same spell, copying the same spell, and but not, you don't have a real end game with this, because like Hive Mind and Summoner's Pact, that is a win con itself. If somebody's not playing green, they cannot pay for the cost of Summoner's Pact, and you have to copy the spell, and you also don't have a target if you're not playing green. So like I said, if you're playing without a game plan, it's usually not fun. Usually you do want to get to an end game where you can finish the deck, and these games take forever because you don't have an end game. Like I said, it turns pass and go, and you're not really progressing the game. So just as a side note, any commander can be in any of these levels. However, there are stronger commanders such as like Marin and other CDH commanders that are very effective and are usually what people like to play. But just remember that, you know, you got to be honest on where you want to be at. So, budget is obviously a big constraint, especially people that are running several decks and they want to keep their decks. They don't want to share cards within them. It's quite expensive to buy several cards for each of your decks. And so like I said, just be honest on what you want. I prefer to have two okay decks. I guess they're Toon decks, and I'm okay with that. And that's it for today's video. I just wanted to share this with you. I saw it and I thought it was really interesting. And that's it for this video. Don't want to leave without thanking our sponsors. Decks and Gaming, both are linked in the description of this video. Also want to remind you, if you like our content, comment, like, and share, as well as subscribe if you haven't done so already. That will really help us to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now we are halfway through. We're a little bit over 500, so that will really help us to get through the goal post. And before we leave, I really want to know one thing. Did you think that Golos deserve to be banned? I just really want to know how people feel. I don't feel that it was a I don't feel that it should have been banned, and I have my reasons, but I really want to know what you guys think. Do you think if Golos needed to be banned? So that's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.